All right. Hey, good morning, everybody. Manny Garavito here for another episode of Mornings with Manny. Every Monday morning, 10:30 a.m., where I go live and I share with you a couple of things. Hang on. Don't want my laptop running out of batteries in the middle of a presentation here. There we go. Hey, everybody. Good morning. And it's good to be back. Sorry I'm a bit late for today's episode. Let's just say I got pulled over. Yeah, man, it's good to have another Monday here come around in our lives. It's good to be productive. It's good to be sharing things with you. And it's good to have this brand new thing here where I can show you presentations via live on the screen. I see it on Facebook. I see it on Zoom. And this is awesome. All right. So today I want to share with you guys a little something I'm learning in regards to the future of education. So jokingly, whenever I do any videos on one of my learning channels, I like to point out that I'm an unofficial educator of the United States of America. I do lifelong learning. I'm one of those. I really enjoy learning something new. I like exploring different concepts, ideas. I like integrating them and piecing them together and making something new. So this is something that I'm really dedicated to apart from just comedy, marketing, and writing blogs. I also really enjoy reading and learning from like TED Talks and watching conferences and taking e-courses and digital products. It's something that I've really gotten accustomed to in terms of a lifestyle. And I simply can't get enough of the fact that my life in the beginning, when I first started going to college, I realized that some of the things I was learning wasn't really as applicable. And I learned that a bit late because I had to go through a lot of personal education. I had to read a couple of things. I had to take a lot of courses and kind of just figure it out on my own. And just through experience, I was just developing one idea after another. Some took off. And what I've learned was immense in comparison to traditional schooling. So this is a topic that I'm really fascinated by because I'm not only an advocate, but also a testament from my past. And, one of the ways that people are learning is through a curriculum, kind of like a checklist or a to-do list. Like that's how traditional learning is. However, learning can be customizable. It's something that you can bring together on whatever terms you'd like for it to be. And it's better for you to choose the kind of education that you're interested in rather than someone choosing it for you. Okay, so when it comes to traditional education, what comes to mind is old-fashioned repetition, someone telling you this is what's useful in your life, right? Rather than you figuring out what's useful for yourself. It's kind of like a status quo when it comes to learning something through traditional schooling. Now, of course, this is just through my personal experience, but I never really felt motivated to learn anything past psychology. So for me, something that really fancied me and what I wanted to learn was psychology early on in high school. And I kind of took it into college a little bit. I got my associate's degree. But out of all the classes I've taken, that was the only one that I really enjoyed. And then once I got into pursuing a degree in a bachelor's of business administration, I pursued marketing. And the criteria was just given to me. Like, this is what we're going to test you on. This is what you've got to know. And when I went online to do marketing, that stuff wasn't applicable to what I was doing or what was demanded, right? So the reason why I believe the education system is so traditional and old-fashioned is because you're following a pre-planned curriculum rather than having it customized in real time to where you are in your life and where you want to go, or the demands that the situation that your goal has put you in. Let's say you're pursuing something and the situation you're in trying to pursue it takes a certain kind of skill set or ability in order for you to achieve the goal. And following a curriculum or someone telling you what you should know, there's no way that will match specifically to your situation. You know what I mean? So that's why I feel the future of education is a very important topic. And I've been studying a lot of social learning. Albert Bandura. Some of the quotes are on miaminetworking.com. I've been writing blogs about it. If you guys want to join me on this discussion, definitely check out the website. I've been really putting a lot of information out there in very concise bits and pieces of information so that I can share with you apart from this live stream. So in the future, one of the things that you can look forward to is that we're going to be doing a lot more social learning. There's going to be more bouncing off ideas. There's going to be more collaboration. There's going to be more sharing than you just alone in a library reading something to answer a question. Okay, there's going to be, I mean, a personal education is still very important. There are things that you've got to learn through your own experiences and what you want to figure out. But instead of just keeping it to yourself, or even worse, just to provide an answer to a question that is going to come up on a test or something, you can then go out and share it with people online. So we are connected now more than ever because of the internet, and we're able to share this information with different people and kind of give them ideas. And then they can bounce an idea off of you, and then you could learn something or gain some sort of insight. Or you guys can discuss a certain dilemma in a network setting and kind of make a dilemma emerge as something brand new, or a solution that was never thought of before because it needed more than one person to come up with it. So network learning is going to be something that's going to be huge in the future of education, and it's something that you should look out for and maybe even consider applying into your life. Especially those that are following Miami Networking, we know the importance of networking with different people, but I'd say look past just promoting your business and look more about what you can learn from those people that you network with. In the future, there's going to be a lot more connected schools. I'm reading a book called Personal Learning Network by William Richardson. I'm almost done with it. It's really great to see that this book was written in 2010, and that somebody or a group of students and teachers scattered throughout the globe are using the connected school education system, which means that classrooms that are connected to the internet can reach out to experts to teach them. And they can also reach out to other connected classrooms to collaborate in a project or to figure something out or to learn something as a group. Connected schools are very important to the future of education because it allows students to have different pieces of information about one topic to give it a little more dynamic understanding of the particular topic that they're trying to learn. And in terms of people that are no longer going to school or going to college, you know, the future of education can still impact you directly on a personal level. We can actively create a social circle that we can learn from. Especially now, like I use Zoom and connect with a lot of people all over the globe. And it's whether it's a coaching session or I'm showing them something or they're showing me something or we collaborate working together. A friendship is established through these exercises and collaborations. And to be honest, they become great friends because you've had an experience together. You went through a collaborative experience. And social circles, be sure to be very mindful of them because those are the ones you're going to be learning from. Like, you know how they say that you're a percentage of all the people you surround yourself with? It's now true more than ever, especially using things like social media and the people that you follow. Okay. Every time you get a little tidbit of information, it's like osmosis. You kind of like integrate it and you put it back out into the world in your own way. So you can customize your social circle for learning. And recently I did this on Twitter. I believe Twitter is a really good way to kind of like get a feed going. So what I did was I just went out and started following a bunch of magazines and a bunch of authors that I really admire. And whenever they post, I can just scroll through my Twitter and just get little bits and pieces of information and have it as a customized feed that I'm learning from. So whenever they post a blog link, a video, they share something or a quote or anything like that, or maybe they wrote a brand new book and they announce it to like all these things come together and make it a feed that you can learn from through the social circle that you've customized for yourself. And this is just one example of the many ways you can use it. I know there's a lot of graphic designers that use Pinterest to follow graphic designs and to look at what people think of a certain font or a certain color scheme or mood colors or all the in-betweens of graphic design, all the details, maybe just even a piece of art that is very inspiring. People use Pinterest for that. And that's just one of the many ways that you can customize a social circle. And you can even interact with the art pieces as well. You know, there's just so many ways that the internet can be used to customize where you're getting your information from and how that information influences who you're becoming and who you're learning from. So proactively seek and spend a percentage of your time with the people you'd like to become. Now more than ever, okay? This is a very important time because everybody's online. Everybody's figuring stuff out online, right? Because we're all indoors. So now is the time for you to look at your feed and look who you are interacting with, and be proactive on who your influences are, okay? You can kind of like put a magnifying glass and be very critical about this portion of your life, because this is the time now more than ever to kind of like get a footing on who you can become in the future based on what information you're taking in and from whom. So be very mindful and proactive in making sure that you've got a really good social circle. And it doesn't have to be people you meet face to face. It can be people that you just interact with online. And avoid the echo chamber. This happens unconsciously, unfortunately, where people follow people that think just like them. And they call it the echo chamber, where you're just feeding each other and patting each other on the back for the same thing over and over, rather than, you know, challenging and collaborating and solving problems together. So the echo chamber, for example, you know, I'm looking for a particular news source that isn't an echo chamber, as an example. I want to find a good or various sources of a news media that gives you objective information on what's going on and doesn't follow the trends. So always be mindful of avoiding echo chambers, because you kind of want to get new information. You don't want information that you're too familiar with, because there's no learning there. There's no growing. There's no developing. It's just you being happy for each other for thinking the same way. So avoid this, because this is something that is probably happening in some way in your life. I mean, it's happening in my life, and I'm showing you this, and I look at my timeline and I can see that the echo chamber is also there. So this is a very unconscious thing. So be sure to be mindful for it. And what we want to do once we start learning from different perspectives is we want to get a point of view prism. I've talked about this before, where the best perspective is to have multiple perspectives, even especially if they're contrasting. So an idea can be one-dimensional, where it's like, this is my belief, and if anyone doesn't believe in this, then they're wrong, okay? The next level of that is to take in someone else's point of view and be like, okay, that's your point of view, and this is my point of view, agree to disagree. But I think like maybe like a third dimensional, or maybe even 4D or 5D, like, is the more perspectives you have, so that when you think about a concept, it goes into that prism and it activates all those points of views. And so one thing has multiple meanings rather than just a simple meaning. Okay, there's a lot of gray in there. There's a lot of, it can go this way, it can go that way, and you can start seeing more possibilities of understanding something and being able to interact with people that are contrary to your initial belief, because the prism will have your initial belief, you know, what you believe in, but then other people can contribute to that, and then you can have a more robust way of understanding. And so the future of education, I believe, is going to be allowing their students, or allowing people that are pursuing lifelong learning, to have a more prismatic view in critical thinking. So this is a quote from Sugata Mitra, I believe is his name. He did a TED talk about the future of education, and he said this, and I found it to be fascinating, where knowing will be obsolete. And the reason why he says knowing will be obsolete is because we can get the answers immediately. We can go on Google or on Wikipedia. We can even find out through Snopes or anything like that if something is valid. Okay. And then we know it. We can, you know, we can dedicate our entire lives to learn something. and we know it, or we can go search it online and we get the answer in 30 seconds and we know it. So knowing is becoming obsolete. And according to Sugata, what will take its place is understanding the collective consciousness. And to go back to the Prism example, that is probably the best way to connect with the collective consciousness, because you're having multiple points of views and prismatic thinking where it's not just one dimensional. All right, guys, that is it for my presentation today. I hope you enjoyed that. Definitely look into the future of education. It's something that could enrich your life and the lives of your family and the ones that you love. You know, if you have kids, definitely look into the future of education and make sure that your kids understand what education is coming to, or what it can turn into, but it doesn't. So the future of education is something to be excited about, and only if you apply it in your life. So look into prismatic thinking, look into network learning, look into customizing your social circles. And I'll see you guys next Monday, 10:30 a.m. All right. I'll make it on time this time, I hope. All right. Have a great week. Make sure to visit miaminetworking.com. Oh, and Digital Marketing Jumpstart, a workshop for online businesses, is going to be Sunday, June 28th from noon to 5 p.m. I hope to see you there. Bye.